Alrighty, and we are live. Good morning, good evening, Moses Lake eSTOL. We're out here for a great day of competition. Me and good old Burstix. Burstix, how you doing over there, brother? I believe we're having some audio issues from Burstix. We'll get those resolved quickly, but good to see you, chat. Hope everybody is getting excited for a great day of competition out here. We've got a lot of great pilots. Looks like our winds currently are calm on the ground, so no advantages there, but they might pick up just a little bit later. Burstix is currently working through some audio issues. Good to see you guys. Are you guys ready for a great competition? I am personally excited. I'm happy to be back on this Saturday. I commentated the last event and had such a good time, and I just had to beg them, and they finally let me come back. They let me come back. But we're going to be getting started here in just a few minutes. And if you guys are new here, first of all, welcome. Some of you guys might be asking, what is STOL flying? Well, you're in luck, because we have a great video to show you guys that explains just what STOL is.
Takeoff and landing competitions are simple. We have the pilots here competing in separate classes to get the lowest score possible. As you see behind me, we have the start-finish line, so let's start with the takeoff.
This runway is marked with a start-finish line, and as a competitor parks their main gear on the line, they apply power and position their aircraft to get off the ground as soon as possible. Once their main gear leaves the ground, a line judge will mark their takeoff score using the measuring line along the side. This score will be added to the pilot's landing score on this heat. The landing is in two parts. It's either over the line and counted, or if the pilot's main gear touches down before the line, or even touches the line, this heat score is scratched and results on a landing disqualification, and the pilot will have to rely on another takeoff and landing score to get them on the podium. A quick look at our aircraft shows we have two types of landing gear: tricycle and tail draggers. On the tail dragger aircraft, the score is marked from the two main wheels toward the front of the airplane. And for tricycle landing gear, the score is marked by the two main gear in the rear of the aircraft. It's a fierce competition out here, but at the end of the day, it's all about building better and safer pilots in the skies.
It's a great day for STOL competitions. Let's get it started.
Alrighty. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of a better understanding about what we're doing out here at Moses Lake in Washington. There is a beautiful shot of me and Burstix over there in the National STOL trailer. These beautiful sceneries that there is a lot of hard work put into recreating the real world STOL sceneries out here, and they do a great job at recreating them one-to-one scale. We have our first class lining up, it appears, and that'll be our touring class. They're going to be getting those aircraft warmed up here and ready to come compete. There is our first Wilga of the day. Beautiful livery, that 1, 2, 3, sporting eSTOL. Got Friends. This is a Got Friends aircraft here. The Wilga, I believe this is the 30P, and that is going to be flown by the one and only, I believe that's going to be Red Baron right there, or Mark Hawking, sorry. Getting my audio adjusted here. Mark Hawking's there in the 123 Wilga ADP. This is a Wilga heavy class. I love this plane, and very, very dominant bird.
For some reason on the screen there, that's just a glitch, visual glitch. There is actually...
He's got Austin back. Good morning, Burstix.
Hey, there you go. Candle, what's going on? Hey, thanks for taking over while I was gone.
Oh, you're good, brother.
I will admit this time the audio issue was most likely on my end because I refreshed vMix and it seemed to be fine now. So
perfect.
Some vMix and my computer, they just don't get together well, but that's all right.
They don't mix well.
That's right. What a great day it's going to be, though, today for eSTOL.
Yes, sir. Looks like we're getting lined up. I believe we have 3 competitors in this first touring class. Brown Dogs coming down the line in that 942 Wilga. Beautiful. And as we're getting lined up here, I'm sure some of you guys are maybe wondering where the beautiful Cam is. I'm sure a lot of you know if you guys follow National Stole on any social media site. The National Stole trailer and truck were in an accident, and Cam is currently resting and recovering. He will be back. Everything is good, but he's getting some well-needed rest. We will be showing and popping up some QR codes and some things if you would like to donate to National Stole to get them back on the road. Obviously, they need a new truck, a new trailer. All their equipment was lost. So if you feel the need to donate, you will have a chance to do so on this live stream. But Cam is good, and that's what matters. And he will be back live with you guys, I'm sure, shortly. There we go. Frozen Alaskan Wilga ADP there. Beautiful livery. Beautiful livery.
Yeah, I gotta love that one with the American Eagle on the bald eagle on the back. Something about that bald eagle just choked me up, Kando.
Get you emotional, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be a Wilga class only, which means it's going to come down to the pilot. No plane advantage here. Everyone's on the same playing field, and we're going to see some good competition here. The winds are currently calm, so there might be a gust here and there that helps hurt somebody, but as of right now, winds are calm. It's a level playing field for all of these pilots.
Yeah, I feel like it's been pretty on and off this season so far. It's been, sometimes we've had some nasty perpendicular crosswinds, and then other times we have no wind. I don't know yet that we've had one straight down the runway that just, beautiful, like 15, 20.
Yeah. I haven't seen it yet, no. But, I'm sure later in the day it might turn up just a little bit. But we'll see. We'll have to wait and see what the sim wants to do.
Well, as we get ready here to take off or wait for the green flag for our touring class, Kando, it's good to have you back. I had a blast doing some casting with you for the last event. So when
Absolutely.
I found out, obviously what happened with the cam and the trailer and all that kind of stuff, and I said, well, wonder who's going to be casting with me. So I asked ADK what he was thinking, and he said he reached out to you. I said, all right, let's do it.
Let's do it. Yes, sir. Looks like we're waiting on the green flag here. Our first competitor, Mark Hawkins, in that Wilga. And there she goes. Green flag is live. And our first takeoff of the day is underway. And it looks like we're getting some reports here that the wind has just entered the chat. I'm not sure if it's in the direction they want it from. We might be pausing here to maybe readjust. Nope, it looks like it's going to be good. And we have the green flag. Mark Hawkins is off. Very nice takeoff there.
7 knots of wind.
The wind said, oh, we're starting? All right, I'm ready. I'm here.
Kind of like me showing up a little late for work, but that's fine. I work for myself, so,
that's right.
Interesting.
We have Cat Blue here. Yes, sir.
Kando, I don't remember seeing Cat in the Wilga in previous.
I don't either. I do not either.
There she goes.
Going to get some scores up here.
Cam. As you can see, Cat's in VR. You get to see her view of what she sees while she's flying in the flight sim. And if that looks interesting to you, just remember anybody can join in nationalstole.com/chat. You can come in and fly, become part of the competition.
Looks like our first takeoff was a 178 from Mark Hawkins. Cat Blue put down a 143. And we'll get our brown dog score here in just a minute. Looks like we're still kind of seeing what this wind wants to do, feeling out that aircraft. and putting down some scores. We say it all the time. The first round is just get the points on the board so you can get a little bit more aggressive in that second round. With that win coming in, I'm sure they're kind of shuffling, seeing what they have. That Frozen Alaskan takeoff looked amazing.
Frozen Alaskan, a real bush pilot out of nowhere other than Alaska.
Absolutely.
You know, with one exception to that rule, though, Kando, most everybody takes it easy and gets that score on the board for the first round. But Kat, she just goes all out every single time. And it looks like we have some people following, because Frozen Alaskan coming in a few feet shy of Cat Blue Flame's score by 6 feet
nice
at 137.
That's right. He might have got a little gust of wind on that. Here we go. We've got our first coming in. That's going to be Mark Hawkins looking to put down a score. Early round one. Wow, that might have been right on the line. I'm not sure. That is a short landing.
Yeah, that's a heck of a short landing. If he holds on to the no scratch,
I believe he did.
He's going to be looking real sexy on that one.
I believe he did. It looks like he got a combined score of 264. We also had a Brown Dog takeoff. We were talking about how well Frozen Alaskan did. Brown Dog upped him with a takeoff distance of 129. We've got a competition on our hands early in the first round.
Ooh, the onboard cam with Kat coming in for the landing. It looks like she is going to go around as something she didn't like on the runway there. I'm not sure if Brown Dog or if Barricus was still on the runway or not, but I don't care, because I love to see the pilot's perspective. It's so realistic. I mean, even if you don't have VR, I mean, Kando, I know you don't use VR, you use the Toby like I do.
Right.
And, you know, I'm amazed with what the Toby can do. I think if I got into VR, I don't know if I'd ever come out of there.
Well, it's always good to do a go around. You never want to force yourself in there and make a mistake. So they get one go around, I believe. And why not use it, man? It's there for a reason. We've got Brown Dog coming in. He had a really good takeoff of 129. He's dropping it in. I don't think he gave up much there. That's going to be a great performance from Brown Dog in that Wilga. Let's see
maybe
what
5 feet
for him. Yeah, it wasn't bad at all.
Lot.
They're coming in swinging nice and early. It looks like that wind is really going to help them out. Frozen Alaskan's on a high final here, and we'll give you that score for Brown Dog.
Kando, do you think we're going to see a go around here, or what do you think he's doing so high up like that?
I think he's just doing a high approach here, which is not a bad idea with this wind. You can really get back, get that nose high angle of attack. I mean, he dropped it in. He's going to give up some room there. He probably could have adjusted a little bit earlier, but you know what? Again, he's got numbers on the board, and he's more comfortable in his second round. He can start pushing it a little bit more.
So the first round with no mistakes. Everybody is in. Everybody looks...
Except Kat. We have Kat left.
Oh, Kat still... Oh, yeah, she did a go-around. Okay,
yeah, she did the go-around.
A little more
We've got Frozen Alaskan at a total score currently of 316 in the first round. Frozen Alaskan did a 179 landing there. A little bit longer than he wanted, I'm sure. And here comes Kat on final. Looks much more controlled this time. Right behind that power curve, she is dragging it in. Very nice. Did not give up much at all. She's got to get it stopped, though. Not too bad. We'll see what they score at. We are currently looking at the first round of the touring class. We have Brown Dog in the lead with 220 feet. Mark Hawkins in second at 264. At Blue Flame in third at 271. And Frozen Alaskan with a little bit of a longer landing than he wanted at 316. That is your results for round one. 2 more to go. Everyone's on the board, Burstix. What are you thinking on this one? And Burstix is muted again. I know what Burstix is saying.
What I expected.
Oh, there he
I was
is.
actually just testing you, Kando, see if you could
Oh,
tell
okay.
if I was lip syncing or not. No, I was muted. Looks just about what I expected, though. I mean, Brown Dog has been the leader of the pack for most of these series. I mean, so what do you expect from him? Same type of numbers he's going to get. So really, you got to look at the other numbers, and it looks like everybody's got quite a bit to make up on the takeoffs there, because Brown Dog's takeoffs were quite a bit better
Right.
than the last place guy. But I guess Cat and Frozen weren't too far off. So really, looks like the landings are what need to be tightened up a little bit.
For sure. And we've seen it. We saw it last competition. This is anybody's comp. I mean, we saw it be upset in the third round a month ago, and it was just a brutal upset and almost a win. So this is anybody's competition. It comes down to round 3, especially now that everybody's got numbers on the board.
Yeah, and with that win, as we saw, we had 0 win when we started, and then 2 minutes later we had 7 knots. So as you can see, the wind can play a big factor. It can change, especially when you're out in the middle of a field like this. You're going to have gusts, and so we'll definitely see some change-ups. But I expect, as always, for Kat to be trying her damnedest to beat the leader of the pack, which is currently Brown Dog. And
Absolutely.
as I always say, Kat doesn't care about anything other than going for the gold.
That's right. She had a takeoff of 154. Mark Hawkins had a takeoff of 161. And looks like we're going to see what Frozen Alaskan has here for us in round 2. Brown Dog currently in the lead at a total score of 220. Mark Hawkins in second. Cat Blue in third. And Frozen Alaska in fourth place. Alaskan. I always say Alaska. Frozen Alaskan. Let me get that right. Beautiful takeoff there from Frozen. They'll be in the pattern coming around for round number 2. This is anybody's ball game. Anything can happen. We've seen some crazy turn of events. I mean, we had a tiebreaker last time that came down to a super technicality. I mean, this can go any which way, but I know Brown Dog is probably feeling pretty comfortable. And he's comfortable in that number 1 spot. That's where he likes to hang out. So we're going to see these other 3 competitors can come back swinging and maybe put down something to take that number 1 spot.
So very interesting numbers here, Kando. With the new tool that we have from Cedric, we're able to view things like V-speed and G-force upon landing and things like that. So, when we were talking about that high approach from Frozen Alaska, you can see it really differs in the V-speeds of everybody else, because vertical speed coming down has been right around 290 to 300. But Frozen Alaska, for the other 3 people, but for Frozen Alaska, it was about negative 704 feet per minute coming down out of the sky.
Brown Dog had a great takeoff there at 110 feet. Frozen Alaskan had a takeoff of 132. Looks like Brown Dog is still going to be really competitive in that number 1 spot. The pressure is not getting to him, I don't believe. Here comes Cat.
Cat's really picking up that nose as you see the Union Jacks underneath the wing. Nice landing. Not giving up a whole lot.
No, maybe 105 feet, maybe 110 there.
$110 on the dot, Kando.
Very nice. I got some decent eyes on me, I think. Here comes Brown Dog
as we
on short final.
As we take a look even more at this tool, I'm looking at this, and there is all kinds of things. We can see how far past the line they landed. All of this in real time.
Ooh!
So big shout out to
Brown
Cedric.
Dog's squeaking it in under 100. That's going to be a sub 100 foot landing. I think he's holding on to this position going into round 3.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to take him out with a 91 foot landing. Brown Dog says, no way, you're not taking it from me.
And if you notice there, remember in the rules, the main gear has to cross the line. You actually touch that tail wheel down before the line and just led all the energy straight into the ground. Really impressive performance from Brown Dog. Frozen Alaska's coming in on short final here. He's still sticking to that kind of high approach, hoping that he can just bleed that speed right into the ground and get it short. But he is using a very different technique from the other three competitors. Looks like he's going to give up some on that.
And in case anybody was wondering about Brown Dog's V-speed coming in there, since he did hit that tail wheel seemingly hard, it wasn't hard at all. He came in at about 316 vertical feet per minute coming down. So very nice landing.
Beautiful. Brown Dog holding the lead. I just want to say this. We have the one and only famous Cam Walton in chat. Cam, it's good to see you. I'm missing your beautiful voice today, but you know what, man? We're happy that we have you and happy you're safe. Everybody, Cam Walton in the chat. Let's just say hi to Cam. There we go. A beautiful note from Race Control. We want to wish Cam a speedy recovery. We miss you. Love you, Cam. Good to see you, brother.
Yeah, Cam's a great dude, man. I remember when I first met him in Vegas and got along with him the first time I met him. Got along real well. Had a great time. I may have met him actually in Louisiana a little before that, but I think Vegas was the first time we got a chance to hang out. And really good dude all around, man. Does a lot for National Soul. So I'm really happy that he's okay. A little scary. If anybody has seen the pictures from the crash, they are in the Discord. If you want to see those, they are at nationalstol.com/chat. They are in the Discord.
Absolutely. Brown Dog is still holding the lead here at 202 total. Frozen Alaskan sits in second now at 256. Bumped him up a little bit. Cat Blue in third place at 264. And Mark Hawkins also tied with Cat Blue, best score of 264 feet. So we've got a tie for the number 3 spot here between Cat and Mark. Cat Blue is off there. I'd be curious to see what our wins are doing. Maybe we can get an update on those. I don't know if somebody in chat has it handy, but it looks like the winds are working for them. When we started, it was very calm, and then right before, I think we have 2 knots at 240, I believe. 7 knots at 240. That is my bad. So it's holding steady at 7 knots here. Looks like it's working well for everybody. Cat Blue had a takeoff there of 147 feet, and we will get the rest as they come in. Frozen Alaskan looks like he has got the green and he's off. Looking for a nice takeoff. Frozen Alaskan is out here winging them. That was an aggressive takeoff from Frozen there. Every single round he's gotten shorter. Round 1, 137. Round 2, 132. Let's see what he put down on that third round. He might be jumping up the leaderboard here. We'll see what it comes down to. Of course, it comes down to the landing, but he's on a good roll here. Frozen Alaskan with a 132-foot takeoff. Very, very consistent on all of his performances today. Looks like we got Mark Hawkins coming in here on short final.
Yeah, Kando, if Brown Dog's landing's getting any shorter, I'm not sure he'll be able to see over the dash by the end of this.
If Brown Dog's landings get any shorter, the Navy's going to recruit him to do some Harrier stuff or some aircraft carrier work. I'm not sure here. Mark Hawkins coming in with a sub of 100-foot landing from Mark. I mean, everybody is stepping it up. They're getting aggressive in round 3. They did what they had to do in the first round, put numbers on the board, and now they're just showing off here, trying to get up the ladder of the leaderboard, and looks like it's working.
Yeah, I feel like these guys have the confidence of Ricky Bobby and Talladega Nights, Kando.
Yeah. Listen, I wake up in the morning, His Excellence, I'm the greatest there ever was. That's what they're saying right now.
Yeah, they're up in the cockpit saying exactly that.
Cat Blue there with the live cockpit look. She's on short final, looking to put something down to get up that leaderboard. She's currently in third This leaderboard might have a shuffle to it here after this third round.
Love to see those Union Jacks from Kat's plane. You know, she's pulling. She might even hit the tail first. She's very, very consistent with her landing.
Drop that nose just a little bit, but she's sub 100 there. I mean, you can't, if this is anybody's ball game, there's going to be a shuffle on this leaderboard, I believe. She's currently tied for third with Mark. We're going to see what this update gives us here. Now we have one more landing. I believe this is going to be Frozen or Brown Dog. Okay, this is Brown Dog right here, our current leader. We definitely had a shuffle in the leaderboard. We're going to talk about that in just a second.
Yeah, his second run would not be able to ride rides at Cedar Point because it is way too short.
That's
and I think
right,
he'll
brother.
win. I think he'll win with that second.
That was a little bit longer than what he wanted. Let's see how this leaderboard shuffles out. I think he's going to hold on to it. I'm going to wait until the final call that this is it. Nope. Frozen Alaskan is coming in. I always forget. You know, like two people come in, I think it's over. I get so excited to see who won. Frozen Alaskan on final here. And Bursix, right after this, we've got some people in chat. We don't have to do it right now. I think everyone's kind of on the edge of their seat, but somebody talking about how they can get involved in eSTOL. We'll get right with you right after we find out the results from this touring class. Bursix will tell you all about it.
Is that on the YouTube, Kando, or is that on the Twitch?
Yes, sir. It's on the YouTube. Mr. Ultrasil.
We'll go ahead and get a link for them.
Frozen Alaskan coming in, giving up just a little bit. A really, really hard touchdown there, but he's going to hold it right at 100 feet. He squeezed onto that one. Wow, that was impressive. Let's see how this leaderboard shakes down. I mean, everyone came out winging. In round number 3, we definitely had a leaderboard shuffle, I believe. Gonna wait and make sure that this is final. Looks like we have Brown Dog in the number 1 spot, holding in at 202 feet. Frozen Alaskan bumped up with a landing of 238. Everyone improved on this one. Pat Blue coming in third with 244, and Mark Hawkins in third at 264. So there it is. Brown Dog takes the win. The man is unstoppable. He gets out here and performs every single time. Frozen Alaskan second, Cat Blue third, Mark Hawkins fourth. Everyone's got points on the board. Bursix, what do you think about that?
Well, I think although you can only have one winner, Brown Dog took it home, but in my heart, all these pilots are hotter than the devil's girlfriend.
That's pretty hot.
Yeah, think about where she lives, and yeah, it's pretty hot.
All right. Yeah, Burstix posted the link over here. So if you would like to get involved in National eSTOL, you can go there. I believe that is the Discord link. And pretty much the process is, Burstix, you know about it way more than I do. What is the process if you would like to come out and compete in one of these?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. You just want to go to nationalstol.com/chat. That's going to take you right to the Discord. And when you get to the Discord, just pick the role eSTOL and any other roles that might pertain to you. So there are some roles in there like IRL pilot or real life pilot, I think it's called. So if you're a real life pilot, you can click that role, etc. So just click the roles that pertain to you, including the eSTOL role if you're wanting to join the competition. And even if you're brand new at it, even if you've never flown in the sim in bush, bush piloting in the sim or anything like that, that's fine. We have a bunch of people. Reach out to one of our eSTOL ambassadors. They will help you. They will train you and probably have you ready by the next competition to beat Brown Dog. Well, I don't know about beating Brown Dog, but they'll teach you. They'll teach you good.
Now, there is a certification process. You've got to do some tasks and get certified, right?
Yes, the certification process is pretty straightforward and simple, and the ambassadors will also tell you how to do that part as well.
Nice. Perfect. Yeah, they'd love to have you. This esport grows and grows every single day. It really is a fun thing. There's a lot of fierce competition out here, but the biggest thing, and I know this is corny to say, but it's to have fun and better yourself. Because if you're competing against yourself, guess what? You might beat some other people as well. And the community around it is just amazing. I mean, some great friends and great people, great pilots out here. So if you're interested, go ahead and follow the steps that Burst Six did, and they'd love to have you.
Yeah, I think it's 100% accurate. If you're focused on beating your own scores, then you're going to consistently get better. If you get better 5% each week, that you even 1% each week, it's probably more than what most people are doing. So you consistently just get better a little bit by little bit, and before you know it, you'll be winning competitions. And
That's right.
points add up all year too. So when you guys are doing these events, when these pilots are doing these events, they're adding up points throughout the year. And we have all the same air shows that National STOL has. And I'm not sure exactly, as we talked about earlier, the National STOL trailer did, unfortunately, was a total loss in that accident. So if you guys want to help out National STOL, the accounts right there, the Venmo account and the GoFundMe are up. Anything helps, even if it's 50 cents or $1, it doesn't matter. Anything will help get National STOL back running. And I think eSTOL is going to carry the brunt of it for a little while. Without the entire trailer, that's everything. I mean, when you're talking National STOL, the real life variant of this, they roll up to an airport. There's nothing there. They unpack it all in about a day, and they have the competition. They pack everything back up. That's a rolling STOL field broadcast. Everything is in that trailer. So, unfortunately, I'm not sure when they'll be able to get back. I know they will be back 100%, but I think for now, eSTOL is going to carry the brunt. So everybody from Real STOL is welcome to come and join us as well, and we'll have to share that word with everybody. And we appreciate everybody that came out today. We still have two more.
Yeah.
I know it's not like we're ending. We're not ending. There's two more classes, I think maybe even three. But yeah, so please, if you guys have any help to give to National STOL Series, we could use it, seeing as our trailer is a piece of char.
And that's on GoFundMe and Venmo. Both of those are places where you can donate. And sure, I'm sure they had insurance, but you know how insurance works. It's going to take some time, and it's definitely not going to cover all the cost of everything that they lost during the accident. So like Bursic says, every single cent helps, and they're just a great group of people. So it goes towards a good cause, man. The National STOL is amazing.
Best group of people I've ever met. I mean, I met Tom through a YouTube comment, and that's, then we created this, and then, like some few months after that, I'm, driving his probably $60,000, truck around, and, it's like the guy is just, here's the keys, and I'm like, what? You want me to drive your truck? He's like, well, yeah, and I had work to do with it, obviously, but just great people. And, I couldn't imagine a worse group of people for something like this to happen to. And to your point, Kando, like with the insurance, like just for instance, I had a house fire once, and we ended up having $44,000 worth of stuff, and it was actually an apartment. We never imagined that we had $44,000 worth of stuff in an apartment. We just didn't do our update. Right. So that's one thing that's important for if you have house insurance or renter's insurance, things like that. You got to update what you have, because you buy things one piece at a time, and it adds up very quickly. So we were way underinsured. We only had 20,000. So we had, we lost $24,000 worth of stuff there, even though insurance paid out.
This is our beautiful Moses Lake scenery. I believe ADK does all of the scenery work. Just absolutely beautiful. You can get out there, drone around, check it out. There's some hidden characters around, but great work from ADK here on all of the eSTOL sceneries as well.
Close, but Anov does all the sceneries.
Sorry, not ADK. I just love ADK so much. Shout out to ADK as well. Anov, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, brother.
No, that's fine. ADK does do one of the training sceneries, which is a really cool scenery for when you get to practicing when you come in to start an eSTOL. So it does get confusing every once in a while.
Absolutely. Looks like we have a small commercial break, and we'll be right back to the action with, I believe, our Backcountry class. Welcome back. Welcome back. Burstix, how excited are you for this backcountry class, brother? Tell me about it.
Well, I think with the new 170B, it's a lot more interesting to me. I think just because the 170B that we have now is a little bit more sturdy, a little bit more closer to the real life thing, or a little closer to the real life thing. So we have LBR Gaming and Cedric P flying the 170B today. So again, it's going to be one of those things where we have no real, benefit from the plane. It's not like one's flying a better plane, they're flying the same plane. So I think we're going to see the pilot skill really come out.
Absolutely. Looks like that wind is holding still there at that 7 knots. Like you said, the 170B, we've got LBR, and I think Cedric P there, and the 170B. One's from Arkansas, one's from Germany, two completely opposite sides of the world together at Moses Lake to compete here. Going to be a good competition. Again, excited to see what they do with these 170Bs. We talked a little bit about this last competition, but not as advanced gear on this 170B. Spring steel gear, what you put into it on the ground, it's going to give it back just a little bit. There is our windsock there, whipping at 7 knots. I think this is what the pilots are hoping for, a nice steady headwind, and they're definitely going to enjoy it.
Yeah, that's pretty steady. You know, I just got to thinking the trailer there that you guys see is modeled right after the real life trailer. I wonder if Anop's going to have to make us a new trailer, because the other trailer's not coming back. So I think eventually Anop's going to have to model us a new trailer for our flight sim world, because we can't have it be different. You know what I mean?
No, you can't. There is Mr. LBR Gaming in that beautiful, I think that's a race card paint job. Am I correct on that? I think it's modeled
Yeah, I
after
think it's the gasoline. I never remember the name of that. I think last time I forgot it too.
We
But
mentioned
the
the last one, I
gasoline
believe, yeah.
company.
Sitco? It's not Sitco, I don't think. No, can't be.
No, but close. Something like
Somebody
that.
in chat knows. Somebody in chat will
Yeah,
know.
someone always knows.
And that nice flap there, don't panic. I'm sure if I saw that coming towards me, I'd probably be a little panicky. And here is Cedric P in his chromed out. From a distance, it almost looks like Mountain Dew, but it's that I think it's the Brando from that movie. We don't know anything, do we?
No, we don't, Kando, and that's just all right, because we have our own little version of Chat GPT over on the YouTube and the Twitch channel. And it looks like
Gulf Racing.
Cedric
That's
loves
what
somebody.
it is. Gulf Oil. There it is.
There, yes, Gulf.
And they're getting down there, going to get lined up. And we should have the green flag here in just a few moments. Starting our backcountry class at Moses Lake, eSTOL. Now, this is only going to be
Moses Lake.
Old Moses Lake. We got one class out here of the backcountry. A little bit smaller than normal. Normally they come out, and there's a few classes. But, hey, these two are going to go head-to-head here. And only one can come out the winner. So we'll see who can pull it off this morning.
Yeah, I think a lot of times when it's when summer comes around, we do have a green flag, so we're going to be seeing these guys taking off here in just a second. But I think a lot of times, Kendo, when summer comes around, it's like our weekly poker game. You know, that kind of dries up a little bit in the summer because people are unfortunately touching grass and things like that. So understandable that there will be a couple less in the classes. They got to live their life, you know.
Yeah, and it's great to touch grass. A lot of simmers don't get enough of it.
No.
Here we are, green flag. Cedric's getting that tail up. Nice aggressive takeoff. We'll see what he can do with these 7-knot headwinds here. Past 100-footer. Looked like maybe 150, 160 there for Mr. Cedric E.
Getting that tail up. I think he could have even went a little more aggressive with it, but as we say, Kando, the first round, usually they take a little bit of a breather for, just get numbers on the board.
LBR. I think that's LBR. Yeah, that was. Here we go. Cedric P here. Lined up again, first round, looking to get some numbers on the board. Cedric getting that tail nice and high, trying to make that airplane as aerodynamic as possible so we can get that ground speed up and get that rotated. A little bit long on the takeoff. Oh, a little dip there. And he's off and away. First round underway. They're going to be coming around here and hopefully putting the numbers down for round number 1 so they can get a little bit more aggressive in 2 and 3.
Yeah, nothing wrong with a little dip every now and then.
Hey, you know, as long as you keep it off. Sure, they're going to be expedited around the pattern. Since there is just 2 of them, they're going to swing them around nice and short pattern here so we can keep the action going.
So what's pretty interesting is the pattern with 2 people, it works a little bit differently, but it should equal out at the end of the day. But their patterns are so, they practice these patterns and they're timed and everything else, certain heights that they've got to be at during certain phases of the pattern. So it's really one of my favorite things about it. And I didn't know that because when I used to compete in eSTOL, it was when, we were first trying to get it going here on Microsoft Flight Simulator. And it's pretty interesting to get in there. They're all talking on comms and things like that. And, seeing if they need to go around, et cetera, et cetera. And I didn't expect that to be a fun part of it, but just that alone I thought was super fun, and I think it's just because of the communication with all the other pilots.
Yeah. We've got LBR coming in here on short final for the first landing of the day in our backcountry class. See what he's got. I am going to guesstimate with this 7-knot headwind. We come in just short of that halfway mark, and there he is, bringing it in low, nice high angle of attack, dumped all the energy. Oh, wow. That was much shorter than I anticipated. LBR showing him how it's done. Looks like maybe 120 feet maybe on that landing. Solid performance from LBR for his first round 1 performance. Out of Arkansas, LBR with a total score of 291 for round 1.
That's pretty dang good. I think for the 170B, that's honorable.
That's going to be a scratch from Cedric. Now the pressure is on. He's got to get those numbers on the board in round 2.
Well, you know what they say, Kando? If you don't scratch on the first one, you can't scratch on them all.
You got me there, brother. I don't like to think that way, but you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
No,
it's
you're
kind of like
you're probably
day drinking,
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I like to do that every now and then.
That's right.
No, but you're right. You probably should have a better attitude than thinking about scratching on everyone.
Yeah. LBR is lined up, waiting for that green flag. He's comfortable right here. Hopefully he doesn't get too comfortable because we've seen some big upsets out here. And Cedric is definitely wanting to perform better than he did in round 1 with that scratch. So hopefully LBR keeps that pressure and keeps performing like he knows to do. Let's see if he can improve a little bit on his first takeoff. First takeoff from LBR was 174, and it looks like he is going to improve potentially. 174 that's a decent first round. 174 and 117 from LBR. Let's see what he put down in round 2 and see if he's got room for improvement here.
Yeah, you're 100% right, though, Kando. You can't get too comfortable. It's not time to pull out the pillows and the blankets just yet. There's still 2 more rounds yet. So a little history of the Moses Lake area, and we'll talk about Cedric taking off here in just a second once his wheels leave the ground.
And LBR did improve on that takeoff. LBR was a 174 first takeoff, 157 second. So he's improving there on that takeoff. We'll see what Cedric has for us.
I think Cedric's was a little longer. It looked to be almost 300 feet or so. So as our pilots come around, we'll talk a little history of the Moses Lake area. The city of Moses Lake and Moses Coulee were named after the Columbia Sinkiyous tribal leader, Chief Moses, who was around back in the day from 1829 to 1899. And so Moses Lake, the tribal people camped along the shores of Moses Lake, collecting roots and eggs of the waterfowl. And so that's why
Wow.
Moses Lake is named what it is. It's not after the Bible character, but more so after the chief Moses, who may, in fact, have been named after the Bible character. We probably don't know that.
Yeah,
And we may never know that.
you're right. We probably don't know that. It's a
Can't
beautiful
talk to
area
him.
out there, though. Beautiful area.
Yeah, 100%.
Cedric's last takeoff that we just saw was 280 feet, a little longer, I'm sure, than he wanted. But he has a potential here just to put numbers on the board and go for all of it in round 3 with potentially upsetting LBR, but we'll see. LBR is consistently getting better. There again is our GoFundMe QR code if you guys would like to donate towards National Stole and towards getting that trailer and truck back that was involved in that accident. You can scan that QR code. There's also a Venmo as well.
Yeah, anything helps, guys.
A little bit longer than his first one, but hey, he is just putting numbers down. We'll see what he's got here in round 3 for us.
Yeah, and as you guys know, we aren't ones to ask for money. Something like that is something that we don't normally do, but when you lose the entire trailer, well, it's not lost. We know where it's at. It's up in smoke. Worse than Cheech and Chong.
Cedric P putting numbers on the board.
So if you look at that, that was actually a damn good landing. That was sub 100. I didn't even notice that off the bat, but as long as he didn't scratch or anything, that to me looked sub 100. Which is great for that plane.
They might be calling it a scratch. I think they're going to call that one a scratch for Cedric.
I wonder.
I believe so.
I didn't have a chance to see it, but if it was close, I'm gonna guess it's a scratch because that's a hell of a short landing there.
They're going to call that one a scratch. He would have had 176 or 177 there. He came in 1 foot shy of the line. He barely missed the mark.
Wow.
Rolling into round 3 here with LBR. He is in a comfortable lead with 291 on the board. Cedric's got one more shot here in round 3. And again, you never know what he's got up his sleeve. He could come out here and take the whole thing. Unfortunately, he's not been able to put numbers on the board so far. But let's see what he's got for us coming out of round 3. LBR with the takeoff there of 151. Impressive. I think that may be his best takeoff. Cedric P getting off. Cedric off at 265, just a little bit longer, I'm sure, than he was hoping for. Let's see if he can get just points on the board, because even if you don't put down a winning score, right, Bursix, you still get points on the season. So it's important to get those points on the board.
Yeah, you want to at least get a score, and that's why it's so important. That's why we stress the fact that, you know, these guys want to get points, or guys and gals want to get points in the beginning and just put them down, because, yeah, I mean, if you're, you know, as long as there's not, 10 people, but, I think it's up to 5 that get points for the season, and possibly even further out than 5. Obviously, the first place person gets more points, and it goes down as farther you go down the line. But yeah, it's important to get down those points, because everything helps for the end of the year.
Right, your season final. We got LVR here on final. Get a 117 round 1 landing, 145 round 2. This is his shortest takeoff here in round 3. Let's see if he can double down and do his shortest landing, which is going to be hard to beat that 117. But hey, anything can happen. We might see his best round right here That takeoff was mighty impressive, trimming a lot of room off with a 151. A short final, getting nice and slow behind the power curve. Flaps are full in. He's just going to squeak it over that line. I believe they're going to, I think he's safe there. And looked like 100 and maybe 50, 140 foot landing. That might be his shortest. We're going to call it at 151. Not his shortest, actually his longest landing there, but he's still in that number one spot. Cedric P on final, looking for maybe an upset. He is down and he is clean. The points are going to be on the board. He's just a little bit long there. Finally getting those numbers on the board in round 3, and that's gonna, again, just points towards the season is what counts right there.
Points toward the season is important. You know, I'm noticing that LBR is not lifting his flaps, and at the end of his run, he's leaving his flaps down, but yet he's still managing to get a little bit shorter of a run, and that just goes to show you how difficult it is to manage all the different things that you have to manage when you're coming in, because when you're coming in, you're managing throttle, you know, you're managing, you know, the power curve in general, managing flaps, managing your brakes, managing your rudder, your ailerons, your elevator. I mean, there's just so many things you have to manage. And then you add in the fact that you have to land past a certain line, and it just brings that whole bush flying experience up to another level. So if you are bush flying out there and you want to try something new, you want to try the next level, then go to nationalstol.com/chat. And if I do have any moderators that can throw that in both of the YouTube and the Twitch chat, I would appreciate that. https //nationalstol.com/chat. And that will bring you to the Discord. You can join in on the National Stol, the National eSTOL. But that brings it to the end of the class. And Kando, the 170B, I think, is one of the greatest planes of all time. I think a lot of people would agree with that. You know, it's a staple of the aviation world. I think a lot of people have flown the 170B, learned in that thing, and also worked in it and everything else. I mean, it's a workhorse, it's a training aircraft. I mean, there's all kinds of things.
Absolutely. And there's our leaderboard there. LBR Gaming taking the win with a total of 291. Cedric P just struggled a little bit in those first 2 rounds, pulled it together in round 3 for a total of 518. And like Bursick said, that is the end of our backcountry class. Next up, we will have our unlimited class, one of the most exciting to watch, and looking forward to it. I think this class might be stacked. I'm not sure how many we have, but this is always a pleasure to watch these guys.
Yeah, I don't like to be biased too often, but I will say the unlimited class is my favorite class.
Or
Cali, we have.
There you go.
First take it away.
Oh yeah, Luke Carrier there, number 99 in the Monster NX Cub out of Waynesville, Ohio. Sarah Eggleton, the 111 Kit Fox SS Comp, Wilgan, UK. Looks like she's doubled up there. James Beatty in the Monster NX Cub out of Conway, South Carolina, pretty close to me. And the 22 of NorCali J, the Kit Fox out of Eureka, California. Now it's going to be our first heat for the unlimited class at Moses Lake eSTOL. Getting some rudder wag over there. These pilots are super ready to show you guys what they've got. This class is interesting. We've got our first look at a nose wheel competitor out here. Those Kit Fox are super light and super powerful. I always enjoy this because there's a lot of variations in aircraft. A lot of people fly that Kit Fox. A lot of people really enjoy the NX Cub because, well, it's a nose wheel. You can get it stopped just a little bit shorter and maybe be a little bit more aggressive with it. But the takeoff performance from that SS Kit Fox from Parallel 42 is really, really good if you can tame it. So these are always really interesting to watch, and how everyone flies this aircraft differs greatly in their techniques. Here's Luke Carrier in the American flag NX Cub. What a beautiful livery. Screaming Eagle. That's what I'm going to call it. That's America right there, son.
Yeah, I love to see the American flag liveries come out. But yeah, Kando, that's one of my favorite things about this class is that, you have an idea in your head of, and not just you, but as in general, everybody that flies Bush, they have their idea of like this plane's better than that one, etc. But then you come watch a national eSTOL competition and you see, the plane that you didn't think could beat this other plane, beating this other plane, and then it's like, man, these pilots have figured out how to fly these planes better than anybody, I would say, in the world. I mean, these guys are freaking
Right.
these guys fly every week. They practice every week. I mean, they practice together in groups. They practice separately, to get better and better every week. And so it's interesting. It'll kind of break the mold of what you think is the best plane, and
Yeah.
might get you to try some new planes. And speaking of that kit box, did you see the is Sarah Eggleston's beautiful livery? Did you see the
Beautiful livery.
release from Parallel 42 at Flight Sim Expo?
Yeah, it's looking good. The Patriot is coming out well, and then of course the teaser at the end of another exciting Bush plane. So Parallel 42, the creator, the developer of this kit box that you're seeing today, announcing two really well. One was already announced, but it's getting closer to release. And then of course Trent Palmer made his Nomad Legend, and they are currently, I guess, working with Trent to get that Legend Cub into the sim. But their Patriot is coming out beautifully, and you can actually go over to their website right now and get a little sneak peek of it. But yeah, Parallel 42 does good stuff, great planes, and excited for the future of what they're developing. There's James Beatty there with his NX Cub, sweet livery, clean. I like the checkered on it. Everything is just crisp on that girl right there. So we're going to have two NX Cubs this round, two Kit Fox. I'm really, really interested to see how these match up and who can come out on top. That Kit Fox is super, super powerful, and there's a lot of P factor and left turning frequencies that go into that. Even that first grade full power is rough. In control here, love it. Rocking the Xbox livery. Absolutely stunning. And this Lynn Savage, I believe, our only Xbox pilot in today's competition, but don't let that fool you. He comes out here and gives hell. MP Troll is a great pilot, great guy, and he loves that Lynn Savage.
Yeah, sometimes simplicity is the way to do it because MP Troll on the most simple, and I think, look at the name MP Troll. I think he might even be trolling. He's on everything simple. He's on the simple Xbox livery, on the simple Zlin Savage, the default, and then on the simple Xbox, he probably still has the same headset that came with the Xbox.
Yeah, the little one earpiece one. In the, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. One of the interesting things, though, just to bring it back a second about the Patriot Air Park, is National STOL does a competition at Patriot Air Park. So the plane that Parallel 42 are getting close to releasing is affiliated with that same Patriot Air Park that National STOL does a competition at.
Absolutely. Blue carrier here in the American flag NX Cub is lined up. Notice his rear wheels. Those are his main gear on the line this time. First look at a nose wheel aircraft today. And he's lined up. We're waiting on the green flag here. The go ahead to start our first heat of the unlimited class. And that green flag is live. Here comes Luke Carrier.
That green flag, Luke Carrier will let his wings carry him up into the sky in the NX
The
Cub.
dad jokes are, I knew you had them. I was waiting on those.
Yeah, they just come to you, man. When you have a kid, they just somehow you just got dad jokes now.
Green, green, green. Waiting on Luke here. Maybe have some pilot difficulties. Not really sure. Like he's adjusting his flaps. He's there. There it is. He's got full power. Wow. What a takeoff. Leaping off the ground. Unreal.
That Lycoming.
That was impressive.
Just purring.
Just purring. That nice big Lycoming engine. It almost looked like he was going to wheelbarrow there for a second, but he held it together and put down a good run there. 52-foot takeoff from Luke Carrier.
The takeoff like that, he's going to need a wheelbarrow or something.
It's Sarah Eggleton ripping off in that Hit Fox. Inch and cowling removed. Got to save every single ounce you can. Sarah Eggleton is off. Nice takeoff. Looks like she came out in, let's see. It was short. I know that. Waiting on those numbers there. James Beattie is off right before the 100-foot line. And you're going to see that a lot in these classes, that sub 100 feet takeoffs are not rare for these birds. Honestly, if you're pushing it a little bit over 100, might need to pick up the pace a little bit, because you're not going to get many of these guys crossing that 100-foot mark on takeoff. There's James, or this is going to be MP Troll here lined up, waiting for the go-ahead. And there he is. He's on the roll. Wow, no way. Keep it off the ground, MP Troll. That wind is working for him. Oh, buddy. Chat, y'all better get fired up about that one. I don't even...
Yeah, he's definitely paying that wind more than minimum wage, because it's working for him well.
Brother, what even was that? Was that 20 feet or so?
Yeah, I would say, yeah. I mean, it's so quick, it was hard to tell.
I couldn't even see it. Luke Carrier coming in, high angle of attack in that NX Cub. Keep it up. Oh, I think he's clean on that. That's going to be right on the line. Wow, that is impressive from Luke Carrier there. They're going to call it clean. Luke pulling off the field. I think we're going to have Sarah Eggleton here on short final. That was unbelievable. Things are firing up here. That MP Troll takeoff is going to have to be manually scored, because he is on Xbox, so we'll see what that one comes into in just a minute. Sarah Eggleton a little bit all over the place on final. Keeps it together. Ooh. We might have a warning on this one. It's important that you keep the aircraft under control. If you get spin too much and you're looks like maybe you don't have control of your aircraft, you're going to get a warning. If you do it again, I believe, first you can correct me on this, it might come under and get a DQ. But it's important that these pilots keep directional control of the aircraft and keep everything nice and safe, just like they do in the real world.
Yeah, 100%. If they if they have something like a wing that would damage a wing or damage part of the plane, nose over, something like that, that would disqualify them. Their previous rounds would count if they had any down.
Right.
Some things can be called a warning depending on if it would have caused damage or not. So typically, if it's caused damage to the plane, or it would, because this is a sim, obviously, yeah, then they're going to get disqualified. But sometimes they do get a warning. Kind of depends on how egregious.
She didn't maintain directional control, kind of ground looped it there, so they issued a warning for not having directional control of the aircraft.
And that sounds about right.
I believe this is going to be MP Troll. The aircraft might be showing up differently. I don't recall seeing this in the initial lineup. Yeah, that is MP Troll. Just some multiplayer issues. Wow, MP Troll coming in just over the line and just absolutely stopping on a dime. Unbelievable. He had a 22-foot takeoff, and I'm not going to lie, that doesn't look much longer than his takeoff. Coming out here, simple Xbox, Twin Cub, and showing these boys how it is done. That is class right there. NX Cub coming in, James Beatty, just at that 100-foot line. Just before it. Looks like we're going to call that one maybe 90 feet. MP Troll is out here showing them what is up with a total of 58 feet. Blue Carrier in second, 113. Sarah Eggleton in third with 150. And James Beatty, I believe that is a 182 there total for round number one at Moses Lake eSTOL. Round two is coming up for heat number one in the unlimited class. This is shaping up to be a good one, boys. Chat, what do you guys think about these guys, man? I mean, they are out here just putting on a show for you. Again, I love the unlimited class. These are my favorite aircraft to fly in the sim, so it's always a pleasure to see them out here compete.
Yeah, I love them too, and I think that it's got to be the most exciting class. Now, sometimes you have people who really love, there's a lot of people that really love the 170B, like, come to mind Red Baron. Ooh, beautiful takeoff.
Nothing to bat an eye at there. That is short. That wind, they are putting that wind to work. And with these aircraft, they're a little bit lighter than the previous, touring class or backcountry class. So that 7-knot wind that those two classes had is working a lot more for this unlimited class. I'd honestly be a little bit hard to say it's still sitting at 7. Sarah Eggleton getting off there nice and short. At an 81-footer round number one. I think she's going to improve on that on round number two. Looks like they're calling that a 29-foot takeoff for Sarah.
29. That, to me, that Kit Fox, that's one of the funnest planes to take off. And I ever since they came out with a new one that has the lighter variant without the doors and without the hood, I love it.
Absolutely. Everybody putting it down nicely there. And D-Troll has a beautiful lead here. Here he is in round number two. Looking to put on a show, maybe improve that score of 58. I don't know how he can do it, but he's going to try.
Yeah, 58. What are we talking about? 58 feet.
That's insane.
Wow.
I think he's going to be right there, maybe a hair longer than his first one. 27, they're calling it. 27 feet. He added 5 feet, and he's still extremely short.
Yeah, it looks like a helicopter out there.
MP Troll is smiling ear to ear right now. I know he is. He cannot be upset with his performance so far. Blue Carrier on final in the NX. Yeah, and he's on Xbox. MP Troll he's happy about this one. Blue Carrier with a 44-foot takeoff. He improved his takeoff. Let's see if he can improve that landing. He did not give up much. I think that's going to be a fair landing. We're going to have to see what they judge on this one. That was short. I'm not going to make any assumption if that was a scratch or not.
I don't think it was. I think it was good, but we'll have to wait, obviously, till the professionals that do that measuring come back and let us know. Because Kando and I, we just sit here and look pretty half the time, so.
Yeah, try to. Sarah Eggleton on final here in that brightly colored Kit Fox. Can't miss her on final. She is hanging it off the prop. If she can save this, Oh, I don't know about this. This is getting too close for me.
Dang,
I don't
see,
know,
I don't
man.
know if that touched. That almost
We're
looked
gonna have
like
to
it
wait on the
touched, but
tool. We're gonna have to wait
it's
on the
so
tool on
hard
that
to
one. They're
tell.
calling it. I think they're calling it good. They are 51 foot landing there for Sarah. 51 foot. 29 foot
51.
takeoff, 51 foot landing. What in the world is happening? James Beattie with a nice landing, a little bit long. Looks like maybe 80 foot or so there for James. Now NX. And here comes the current leader, MP Troll, and round number 2, 27 foot takeoff. Added a little bit of distance there for his takeoff. I honestly, Versix, I don't know if he can shave any more off on takeoff or landing from round 1. I don't think he's going to be able to.
No, I mean, he's already got the Schick Quattro out there, damn near a Schick Cinco. So that's the closest shave a man can get. I don't think he can get any more shaved off of that thing.
I don't think he can. That's smooth. Get the man some aftershave.
He's
giving up. Looks like he gave up a little bit there. Oh, he did. It's so funny because he gave up some, but did he really? Did he really? I mean, what was that ground roll? It couldn't have been 5 foot.
I was going to say, what ground roll?
MP Trollo, I think, is just holding on to this one for dear life. Blue Carrier up to the line. 44 foot takeoff in round 2, 52 foot landing. He's improving every round. Let's see if he can keep that trend and put something down big here for round number 3. He's currently sitting in 3rd place under Sarah Eggleton and MP Troll at a total of 96 feet. Looking to improve that. He's knocking on Sarah's door right now. And again, we've seen some big upsets in round number 3. Unreal clean takeoff from Mr. Luke Carrier. The pressure is on for round number 3. Now, don't forget, guys, this is only heat number 1. We've got another heat. So just because MP Troll is in the lead after round 3, potentially, that doesn't mean someone in the next heat can't come out and take that lead run. So this is only heat number 1 for our Unlimiteds.
Yeah, there are still 3 more pilots ripping and ready to go after this heat here.
And some heavy hitters in there as well. Nobody that you should overlook. Sarah coming out with a 42-foot takeoff there in round number 3. James Beattie on the line, 59-foot takeoff in round number 2. Again, he is constantly improving his scores. We're going to have a shakedown here in round number 3, and this leaderboard might change. Somebody in chat said Cedric MP Troll was for a second was ignoring the laws of physics. I have to agree with you, Cedric. Unreal. He's going to see what he can do in round number 3 again. I don't think he can. I don't think he can do much better than he has.
Yeah, I'd have to say that man is an outlaw at the current moment.
There he is, lined up, tail wheels up. I mean, I don't even. He's rotating 2 seconds after he's launching, and that plane is just ready to fly. It might lift off right there on the line. I'm not sure. There he is. Again, nice short takeoff from MP Troll. And that'll be our last takeoff for the first heat of the Unlimited class. They're all coming around the pattern here for their third landing. Some pilots have some room to shave, and they have a trend of doing it. So let's see if they can hold on to their trend and maybe shuffle this leaderboard up a little bit. Here we go. We've got Luke Carrier on final in the NX Cub. Nice American flag livery. He's going to give up just a little bit there over the line.
Yeah, it seems like he made a correction at the end of that, pulled up a little bit. Didn't really need to, so that cost him a few feet there, but you know, that landing still, the rollout distance is really short, so he's got a lot of room to improve that landing just on that particular one there.
Right. Yeah, looks like he gave up about 41 feet, stopped it in 90, so a 90-foot landing there. Sarah Eggleton on final. She has a trend here of performing better, maybe not in the takeoff, but her landings are consistently getting shorter. Right over the line, she's clean, maybe gave up a... Whoa! She just stood it on the tires.
I mean...
Oh,
barely
wow.
Any roll.
Imagine if she wouldn't have given up any room there. That would have been a sub 20-foot landing. Came in on the leaderboard at 22 feet landing. 22 feet in that kit box.
22.
For a total score of 64 feet. James Beattie high, hanging it off the prop. He's going to have a big scratch. He went for it all there. And unfortunately, not going to have a landing distance on the board for round 3 for Mr. Beattie. And that is going to settle heat number 1 for our Unlimited class. Oh, never mind. We forgot about the champion. We forgot about the leader. He's still got one more. He's flying so slow. I thought the sim had frozen.
I'm trying to get some data from that tool that I was using earlier, but the more pilots that get into that data set, I can't figure out what's what anymore. It was pretty easy to understand, so I'm gonna have to talk to Cedric on the back end here and figure out how to utilize that tool, because I think it's pretty interesting. People always like the landing rates and things like that, and if I can bring that in for the chat, I think they'd love to hear it.
Nice landing there from MP Troll to finish out round heat number 1 for the Unlimited class.
And heat hot it is. The hot heat. This heat is hot, and we got 3 more coming up.
Did he just better? He just one-upped himself. That was a 53-foot total. That was his shortest of the day.
Any shorter than that, it's almost like he'd be flying backwards.
So heat number 1 is done. Heat number 2 is getting lined up here. So let's check out our results here for heat number 1. MP Troll with a best run of 53 feet. Sarah Eggleton coming in right behind him at 64. Luke Carrier, 96. And James Beattie with 159. Again, that is only for heat number 1. We still have another heat that can definitely change this leaderboard. So we're going to see how these pilots do. Burstix, how about we take a look at our heat number 2 in the Unlimited class? Tell them about these boys.
Heat number 2, we got Sub B and Wild Thing. I did see Norcali on that list, but maybe he was unable to make it. So it seems as if we're just going to have Sub B and Wild Thing. Kit Fox SS going straight up against the one and the only Savage Gravel. So it looks like we're going to be pitting 2 of the best developers my favorite ones anyway. Parallel 42 and Got Friends up against each other. Can we get a little prediction in the chat maybe? Who's going to win? Hashtag Parallel 42 Kit Fox or hashtag Got Friends Savage Gravel?
Ooh, that's a good one. But you know, the Subliminal B is a silent assassin. This man came in, this is his first season running National Stole. In competition number 1, came out with a win. Now, he's had some time to get better. And, you know, I'm excited to see what these two do. Now, Wild Thing, this might be, I could be wrong, is Wild Thing a new competitor here? I don't think I've seen his name on the list, but I could be wrong about that. I probably am.
I don't know. The name doesn't pop right into my head as someone who's been in here very much. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But
oh, we do have NorCali. Speak of the devil.
Well, look at
NorCali,
that.
another violent killer here in the Kit Fox. Veteran of eSTOL. Again, no one is safe around NorCali. This man knows how it's done. And if he can handle the pressure, we might see NorCali put down some crazy numbers here. Love that chromed out Kit Fox from him. The OG NorCali competition livery. I love NorCali. Great guy and a really good competitor. So let's see how he does out here at Moses Lake. And here comes Subliminal Black in that Savage Gravel. Now, really, this is just a modified version of that aircraft that MP Troll was flying. Got Friends, took it, put some horsepower in it, gave it some nice suspension, gave it some bush wheels, and this one actually comes equipped with a little bit of nitrous. So we'll see if Subliminal B wants to use that today. But this plane is an absolute monster, and again, one to compete with. I have seen sub-20s in this thing all day long with the right wind. So we'll see. I think everyone's kind of making their predictions here. If the Got Friends plane is going to win Parallel 42, I think it's up in the air for either of them.
yeah, I mean, it's a hard one because you still have the pilots in the background that are going to play a big part of this. But if I have to put my hashtag on it, I'm going with the Savage Gravel because that is like one of the first planes that I flew. It's how I learned how to fly bush, hanging out in the old Sunday school stream with Kando. So, I mean, that's, you know, it's got a lot of sentimental value to me.
Great time, man. Those were the days. You know, that Savage Gravel was one of the early bush planes that came to the sim. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who have a number of hours in it because it really is a staple of the backcountry world for 2020 and still in 24. Here comes Wild Thing coming down the line in that classic Parallel 42 livery here. A nice little TP, Trent Palmer signature on the back of it there. Wild Thing there. Beautiful. That Foxfly Pete, that looks like quite his Pete's livery, man. I think it says
that
Pete
is
on
Pete's livery. It does say it does say Pete on it.
I'm not sure what's going on.
Maybe he's got his plane out on loan.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe he robbed the hangar. He might have broken into the hangar. Foxfly Pete,
he's
I
probably
think,
got
a scrambling right now going, how did you get my plane? And NorCali is lined up here. Heat number 2 for the Unlimited class. That big 2-2 on the tail there. NorCali has been in this situation countless times. These guys get a little bit of advantage being in heat number 2 for the Unlimited. They got to review some footage. They got to see the other pilots work. And now they've got an idea of what they're faced against and what numbers they need to be putting down. Everybody, of course, wants to do the shortest takeoff and landing, but I think Heat 2 gets a little bit of an advantage in just watching that wind, seeing what the weather's doing, and maybe making some adjustments for their heat. Green flag here at Moses Lake Stole Unlimited class heat number 2. And Foxfly says it's on loan. Okay, so his hanger didn't get robbed. That's good. Cali is up and away.
Yeah, I'm glad his plane didn't get stolen.
That's right. Beautiful takeoff there from North Cali. Looks like he got off in 35 feet. Orbital Black is on the line. Tail wheel is up, and he is out. Unbelievable. That was short, lady. Wow.
Oh,
Going back to Cedar Point, he's definitely not getting on the rides.
That's the top thrill dragster right there.
That was a 10-foot takeoff from Subliminal Black. Uh-oh.
Wow.
There is wild thing in the loaner. Short takeoff.
Dang. I don't know where this guy came from because I don't remember him. So I think he's new, but man, how do you fly like that when you're brand new?
Yeah, he must have had some good coaching, some good training.
Wow, so we just got a word from Race Control that Sub B is driving to Mississippi to see his family, and he stopped at a hotel to plug into the Wi-Fi there and use his PC or Xbox. I'm not sure what he's on, but yeah, he stopped at a hotel just to do the competition, man. That's talk about dedication to eSTOL right there, man. Big round of applause for Sub B.
Yeah, and we always joke when someone has internet issues about using Dollar General Wi-Fi or whatever. I mean, honestly, I'm really shocked he's out here competing. I mean, hotels have decent internet, but that is impressive. That is dedication. And his family's probably in the hotel room just rooting him on right now. That's pretty awesome, man.
Oh, heck yeah. Having a couple fresh, cold ones.
That's right. Wild thing, that takeoff was 19 feet. NorCali's on final here for round number 1 landing. Oh, I don't know. That looked like a scratch to me, NorCali.
Yeah, he's trying real hard on that one, and sometimes you'll have that.
Yeah, just a little bump of power could have got him over the line there, but NorCali works really well under pressure. That's one thing I've noticed watching these competitions is he works well under pressure, and he's going to shake it off and come out and hopefully put some numbers down in round 2.
He definitely is a chill guy, man. You watch his stream on Twitch, and he's just hanging out, He's just having a good time. He don't let things bother him.
That's right. Wow, no wonder. We've just got word on our new pilot here, Wild Thing. He is a real-life pilot, and he actually competes down in Australia at eSTOL. So that speaks to why he's out here throwing down some crazy numbers. Welcome to National eSTOL, Wild Thing. It's good to have you. And, man, that's awesome. A real STOL pilot out here playing with the boys.
Yeah, I love that, man. eSTOL. Kind of like Ozfest, but with planes instead of guitars.
Sub B is just dragging it over. He's gonna scratch. I mean, these guys are putting it all on the line. No numbers on the board yet. Wild Thing, now that we know who he is, I think people are getting a little nervous.
I mean, I would be. I'll tell you that right now. Aussies are some of the most hyped people, man. You get into any of these flight sim streams with some of these Australian streamers, man. These guys are, they got heart. They freaking wear their heart on their shoulder, man, and they're freaking are on their sleeve, man. And this guy, we thought he was a noob. Little did we know. He's a freaking pro.
There comes Wild Thing. Nice steep approach. Numbers on the board. He knows what to do here. Wow, Wild Thing dropping it in over the line.
Oh,
Looks
yeah,
like
still a little.
Just over 20.
Yeah, great landing and just a little bit of room to improve, so we can see better scores out of Wild Thing yet, and it's hard to believe that a 20-foot landing could get any better, but it's possible here at National eSTOL.
I'm really curious as to what the wind is doing right now. Let's see if we can get an update on that. I feel like it's picking up. I think it's adjusted a little bit. Wow, winds have definitely picked up. 16 knots at 220. If you remember at the beginning of the competition, they were right around 7 knots. So they're picking up here, and I'm definitely seeing the difference in the performance.
Yeah, we've got Irish wind out here because it's Dublin. It was 7 before, and now it's 16. So even more than Dublin.
Yeah, wow, that was a good one there, Burstings. North Cali is up in a 1E. Short takeoff and pit box. What's interesting too is, North Cali used to compete in that Savage. Now he competed in the Carbon. I wonder if he's watching some of these guys in the gravel and Carbon going, man, I might need to adjust some things here. But, he chose that pit box, and I'm sure he's going to stick with it. Wow. The Criminal Black. I'm really curious if he's using the NOS in that thing. I would have to believe he is.
If Subliminal Black wins, somebody's got to order him some room service.
That's right. Yeah, he might just be staying in Mississippi tonight or wherever he stopped.
Having a little party, playing from a hotel. I think it's a first, a National eSTOL first. Subliminal Black is playing from the old hotel room.
Wild Thing is up and away. Looked a little bit longer than his first takeoff there of 19 feet. Let's see what they clock him at here for his second one.
And that just goes to show you can do National eSTOL from anywhere. So what I think is really cool about it is it brings everybody together. Like someone like Wild Thing from eSTOL couldn't compete at National eSTOL. I mean, it's possible, but the logistics of that are just so difficult because you're not going to fly, bush plane all the way from Australia to the U.S. Now, people have done it, I'm sure, Maybe not, though, because that's quite a bit. I know people have done it from Africa to the U.S., but we'd have to find out. That'd be interesting to know if anybody from chat's ever known anybody to fly a bush plane from Australia to the U.S. But long story short, nationalstol.com/chat. Join in on eSTOL, and then even if you are a bush pilot from another country that has, can't really fly in National eSTOL in the real world, but you want to get into the eSTOL and fly with some of these American pilots, and we have pilots from all over the world, Germany, Poland, I mean, just anywhere you could think of, we've got them. Yeah. The UK, Australia.
North Cali coming in on short final here, looking to get those numbers on the board. We had a DQ from him in round 1. Let's see what he's got for us. You can hear him modulating that power, just trying to get it over the line. There he is. And that looks nice and short. He's clear of the line. Yeah, there it is. Beautiful. Look, I think that's going to be 25 feet maybe. Let's see what they clock that one at.
Yeah, Wild Thing that's a hell of a landing there.
Yeah, Wild Thing's takeoff was 30 foot. They are going to get North Cali at 30-foot landing with a total of 50. That's impressive. That puts North Cali at the top of the leaderboard currently. Here comes Subliminal Black with a DQ in round number 1. Looking to get those numbers on the board, and he is hunting the top of this leaderboard right now. Wow, I think he's clean. Oh my goodness. We've got a competition on our hand, chat. Unbelievable. That's sub
He
10,
might
I
have
think.
touched. He might have touched the line. Now remember, you got to be over the line.
Oh no.
He may have touched. I think it's going to be under review,
Let's see.
or possibly.
Nope. They're calling it. 14 feet subliminal. Oh, it's under review. Let me hush. Let me hush.
So
If they call this one clean, they're calling it clean. Subliminal black, taking the lead with a total of 34 feet. 34, gentlemen.
Wow. So whoever said hashtag got friends and hashtag got gravel, I think you're pretty happy right now, because that looks like it's going to be a winning score. I don't want to call it just yet, but I mean 33 feet. What are we talking about?
Oh, he was looking for a penny. I don't think he found anything.
Holy! Stall that sucker right on
get a
the ground
warning.
perfectly.
Oh, they're going to call that one.
That was not
Nope,
actually
it is not
a
a
scratch,
scratch.
guys. That was not actually a scratch. Not officially a scratch. That was actually just a warning. So it looks like he's going to be okay. And you can tell the wind's picking up like crazy out here. These guys are hovering it in. They just went from fixed wing to rotor.
Unbelievable. It was a 26-foot landing there from Wild Thing. This is getting intense. And remember, what I say, Heat 1 was beautiful. Heat 2 is going to be out here swinging. And it looks like, unfortunately, a lot of this performance is coming from a gust of wind here. A consistent gust, a doubling. I'm not sure what the difference was from Heat 1 to Heat 2 with the winds. But, I mean, we're putting down some crazy numbers in the second heat of this unlimited class.
I think it was pretty close, but it's possible that it's trending up. The wind is probably, raising since we started. It was, about 0, and now we're at close to 16. But this right here makes me want to fly. I'm telling you, watching these guys, the takeoffs and the landing these guys are able to achieve, I mean, that's what I used to love so much about bush flying when I first started doing it. And man, I think I want to compete one of these times, man. We got to have like me, you, and Cam just have a good old fun competition. Not for the entire season or anything like that, but just for fun. I think it would be a good time. Maybe we can do that sometime.
Or Callie ripping out there. You said you wanted to fly. I'm thinking, man, after this is up, we might have our good old after party. I think we just might do that over there. We'll jump around into bush planes after this, but yeah, we'll have our after party again.
Kando, where are you guys doing that at, man? What's on your Twitch?
Right here at Moses Lake. We're going to do it
hell
right
yeah.
here.
So where can we find you?
Oh, you can find us over there on the old Twitch at Oohcando, man. OOHCANDO. We'd love to have you. We do a lot of backcountry flying over there. It's a blast. So we'll do an after party with everybody. Come on, stop by, bring your favorite beverage and your favorite bush plane, and we'll go hop around the Moses Lake area.
All right, you guys heard it there. After party is on the Kando stream after the stream here. So if you want to fly with us,
there it is.
Come on out. Twitch.tv/Oohcando.
Yeah, there's a little logo down there with the link. We'd love to have you boys. This competition is heating up. Let's get back to it here. Subliminal Black in the lead with 34 feet total. NorCali in second with that 50-footer. And MP Troll hanging into third with 53. He was in heat number 1, so all his runs are done. Round number 3 is underway at Moses Lake eSTOL. The competition is fierce, and we've got some veterans out here. Well, NorCali is a veteran. Subliminal Black, somewhat new to the competition, but he's putting on a clinic, and it's fun to see. Wild Thing sitting in 4th place right now overall for our unlimited class at 62 feet. One more round, one more set of landings here. Let's see if somebody can up and shuffle up this leaderboard just a little bit.
It's hard to believe after watching MP Troll do so well in that first round that 2 people from the second heat are beating him, because I mean his numbers were outrageous. You know,
Yeah.
and he's, you know, very close with Norcali, but Sub B is just, I mean, as I've said it before, I mean, he comes in like Miley Cyrus on a wrecking ball and just takes out everybody.
God, I hope he's got more clothes on than Miley did. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, me too.
Nice landing there from Norcali. Let's see what they're going to clock that one at. Looking like he bettered himself there. 23-foot landing in second place, but he's raised the bar just a little bit. Total of 45 feet there for Norcali. Here comes Subliminal Black, our current leader, with a total of 34 feet. I'm not sure what was his landing or takeoff in round 2. I wonder if he's got a shot here to raise the bar just a little bit there.
Norcali beating himself like Jim Carrey and Liar Liar.
Yeah, he's beating himself up. Whoa! I don't know if he's going to be at... Wow. 1 foot longer on his takeoff in round 3, but he might have beat it right there.
1 foot.
Let's see what they clocked him at. 16 feet. He didn't up the bar, but he is right there at 37 feet total.
Wow, somebody get this guy some crutches, because he's just got 1 foot.
That's right. And Wild Thing, I don't know if he's got a... I mean, there's... anything can happen here. Subliminal Black is in a hotel in the middle of somewhere, holding his breath, looking to see if he's going to hold the win here. Wild Thing has one more landing. Subliminal Black is on the edge of another victory at Moses Lake eSTOL. Let's see what he's got here. Wild Thing with a 25-foot takeoff. He's going to have to put something down. Sub 10 foot here. Sub 10,
totally
sub 9
possible.
actually.
I mean, yeah, totally possible. I mean, Kando, we've seen crazy landings today. Totally possible. For the money here.
Oh,
wow, that is clean. That is clean. I'm going to go ahead and call it. Oh my God.
Wow.
That might beat it. That, I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't know.
That might be 10 feet,
After review,
man.
no line violation. We're going to get some numbers here for chat.
That's got to be second place at least.
It's got to be, right?
What are
We're
we
waiting on the
seeing,
numbers.
man?
There they are. Whoa! Oh my gosh. That is, I don't believe that is an updated leaderboard. I could be wrong.
Not quite yet. Wild Thing score still got to be updated.
That is unreal. Some upsets out here at Moses Lake. We're going to get you an updated leaderboard. That last round from Wild Thing shuffled the standings. We're going to show you those in just a minute. I don't want to say anything. We got to build the tension here. And here are the standings. Burstix, what in the world?
Sub B taking it home with the win. So 2 people from the last heat. Sub B taking that 34-foot takeoff and landing and just saying, you know what? Here we go. I want to take this thing home from a hotel room. Sub B takes the win. Wild Thing coming in, flying from Australia with 44 feet. Norcali just eking by and for that, or just past Wild Thing with that 45. Only 1 foot difference between number 2 and 3. MP Troll from the first heat, only 8 foot separates him from third place with that 4th place. And then Sarah and Luke rounding out the 5 and 6th place with 64 foot and 96 foot respectively. But it looks like the hashtag Got Friends with that hashtag Savage Gravel is the hottest plane of the day. So anybody who put that into chat, you win.
I just want to say, too, all of these numbers are sub 100 feet. Sub 100 feet. How insane is that? That everybody had an average of under 100 feet. I mean, that's unbelievable. I don't think people really realize how short 100 feet is. Like, that's insane.
No, I mean,
And
You
that's
know, and you
takeoff
see
and
people,
landing combined.
right? I mean, you see people flying all the time, you know, and you see people flying and trying their best, but man, this is at another level. This is like
It is.
it just takes it to the next level. That line, when you have that line and you know where you got to land, it makes it harder. But also, once you practice it, and once you get it down, you have a good point of
Muscle
where
memory.
you know damn well where you got to hit. You
Yeah.
know, so these guys are insane.
Muscle memory. That was
Congratulations to all the pilots.
unbelievable. Yeah, great job, everybody. I think we have a do we have a spec class this week? We're waiting for race
I am
control.
actually unsure. Let's take a look.
I am as well. We might have one more class here.
There is a spec class.
Beautiful. Spec class will be loading up here. The Red Bull X Cub is going to be our spec class aircraft. If you don't know what the spec class is, pretty much everybody is in the exact same aircraft. It takes away that, well, my airplane wasn't as good as his. Nope, everybody's in the same thing. It comes down to pilot skill, and we will be loading the spec class up here shortly at Moses Lake eSTOL.
And if we could take it to a quick commercial break, then we'll be back with the spec class.
All here in beautiful Gallatin, Tennessee. It's the series' second visit to Music City Executive, and this weekend is the final leg on the circuit before the epic finale less than a month away in Sulphur Springs, Texas. Weather this weekend set to be sunny and clear, a welcome break for pilots after some of 2024's challenging conditions. Let's get those engines started here at National Stol's Music City Stol 2024.
Welcome back.
Well, would you
Welcome
look at
back.
that?
Yes, sir.
All those
Out here
stickers
at
there, man.
Moses.
So super cool to see those.
Hey, absolutely. Yeah, I love that video too. I watch it every time. I've seen it so many times, but I still watch it every single time it comes on.
Yeah.
Well, we are
It's
out
pretty
here at
amazing
Moses
what we've been
Lake.
able to do with eSTOL.
Yeah. Today we have seen the touring class. Brown Dog came out with a beautiful win there. We've seen the backcountry class. LBR Gaming took it home. The unlimited class, Subliminal Black, with a win in his Savage Gravel. And now it comes to the Spec class. Everybody is in the exact same airplane, the Red Bull X Cub, and everybody goes head to head, putting only their pilot skills on the line. We've got a lineup. How about it, Burstix?
Well, all I would say is you got to watch out because Norcali, MP Troll, oh my gosh, we got Wild Thing, Cedric, James, BD, LBR. I mean, all these guys, we've seen them put down great numbers today. So we're going to see a heated match. And Chad, I only got one thing for you to do, and it is shout out to your favorite pilot in the chat. So if you're on Twitch or if you're on YouTube, doesn't matter. Make sure you're naming your favorite pilot from this class in the chat and letting them know you want them to win.
Callie J, Cedric P, MP Troll, LBR, Wild Thing, and James BD. Every single one of these put down some crazy numbers today, and they're getting warmed up and lined up right now. Now, they're all in the same plane, so not much to look at. Once we see the first one, you'll know what everyone else is in, but it's going to be a good competition. A lot of great pilots. This is a great aircraft as well, so super excited to see what they can do.
Yeah, it was a nice little addition to the flight sim back when they put it in. You know, there's a lot of variations of this Cub, you know, for our flight sim here. But it was nice when they put it in. It was fun. It lands short, and it's modeled after the plane that Mike Patey did for I can't remember the pilot's name, but the guy that landed up there on the Red Bull tower.
Yeah, Luca, I think. Luca?
Not the Red Bull
right.
tower, but I think it's the Burj Al Arab.
Yeah, out in Dubai.
Yeah, helicopter pad. It's crazy landing.
They are getting lined up here. Coming down, I'm sure.
I don't typically like those hype things, you know what I mean? But that in itself, I mean, can you imagine landing on a helicopter pad?
Yeah.
Like,
can you imagine taking off of a helicopter pad?
Neither.
Yeah. Let's see if we can get a little update here on what the wind is looking like just before our Spec class. Okay, winds are holding stable, 14 at 220. Calm down just a little bit from earlier. I believe earlier they were at about 16 at 220. But again, that wind is going to gust, and some pilots might get a little bit of an advantage, a gust, and some pilots, well, they might not get that. So again, this all comes down to pilot skill. Everyone's in the same aircraft. We are going to see a little bit of a visual glitch here. They are in the same airplane. But you know, multiplayer model matching sometimes goofs up a little bit. So don't worry, they're not in the NX Cub. That's why the plane is constantly wheeling. They are in the Red Bull X Cub. This is a sim at the end of the day, and it has its quirks, but we just work through them.
Yeah, you know, at one point we had that figured out. There was a couple different packages that you could put into your sim that would help you see things correctly, but it's like, so then something changes, you have a sim update, and boom, that's no longer working correctly. So either way, that nose wheel, like Kando said, is not supposed to be there. He's actually in a tail wheel. But
yep, and things change. Says they had it working yesterday. Today it's just goofing up. So no worries. Again, it's a sim. We all know there's bugs and there's issues in it. But we'll work through those and put on a good show regardless.
Just hope the FAA doesn't call and ask us why we're driving planes around like that.
Absolutely. You can see that windsock there. That wind is blowing 14 knots straight down the pipe. I'm expecting some nice short takeoffs, especially in this X Cub with 14 knot headwind. I mean, that's going to be We're going to have a good show put on here.
Yeah, they do have nitrous in this plane as well, so it'll add a lot to the thrust factor. I like the choice of livery there for LBR with the just keeping the style of the Red Bull livery, but going with a little Moses Lake placard on the side. Really like that. LBR Gaming, man, great livery.
And if you notice too, it's not the Red Bulls; it's actually the Dragon.
Oh, I did not notice.
Yeah, they've got the dragons up there. That'd be Red Dragon energy drinks, I guess.
Probably copyright reasons.
All right, as we're getting lined up here, just another quick reminder. The National STOL truck and trailer was involved in a tragic accident, resulting in the loss of all the equipment for the real-life National STOL gear. We do have GoFundMe's going and some Venmos. Again, every little dollar counts to get them back up on the road. Like Burstick said earlier, for the time being, looks like eSTOL is going to be the only STOL competitions. But I'm sure those links will pop back up here, maybe in the chat or on the screen for you guys to visit. And if you would like, donate towards getting the National STOL truck and trailer back on the road.
Well, I know it's an unfortunate circumstance, but maybe some of the pilots that I know there's been some real life pilots that wanted to get in and join in on this because, you know, a lot of times people start out in the sim, as Kando yourself being a pilot, real life pilot who started out in the simulator, you know. So maybe we'll see some of the real life pilots from National STOL come in and try out their luck in National eSTOL. I know they'll be itching to do it, depending on how much support we can get for National STOL and, you know, how long it takes to buy everything back and get everything set back up. And gosh, even making the list of stuff would be insane.
Wow. Poor Callie getting up short there. Look to be sub 100. In the chat looking for the details. We'll get those to you in the chat, Victor, here shortly. Make sure those get over there. And if not, I'm sure they're available in the Discord as well. York Alley with a nice takeoff, 52 feet there, coming out around 1 in the Spec class. And he is on the go. Nice rest of takeoff there for the veteran. Looking to be about the same around that 50.
I like the look of that takeoff.
Oh no, he was looking for one and he found it.
You talking about pennies, Kando?
Yeah, he found him one. Nice shiny one, potentially. And that's going to be a black flag for Mr. Empty Troll. Of course, if that was to happen in real life, there would be damage to the aircraft, so he will no longer be able to compete. Unfortunate that happened in the first round, because if it was to happen in the second or third, previous scores would still count. But unfortunately, first round nose over, he's going to be out of the competition in the Spec class.
Yep, that is the case. He is out for the rest of the Spec class. Unfortunate. MP Troll's a great guy to watch.
James Beatty up and away there. Our first two takeoffs were right around that 50-foot mark, 52, 55. We're seeing some kind of, Not sure what happened here. He's going to have to take that. Unfortunate there for LBR. He took off, moved past the line, and then stopped again. So he's going to have to use, they're going to count that little ground roll that he had into his takeoff distance. Unfortunate for round one, but he's got two more to improve on. Here comes Wild Thing, lined up on the right side of the runway, trying to kind of get advantage of that wind here. LBR is going to come out with a 164-foot. Unfortunate. Again, he just kind of moved off that line. Oh, no. That wind is taking a toll. We're going to see what they want to do here. Issued warning. Even though this is a sim chat, they still follow all the same safety rules that they do in real life STOL. And obviously, safety is the most important thing. It'd be tragic for anyone to get hurt out here. So it's important that they take off and stay within those flagged boundaries. Unfortunately, there, he's going to get a little bit of a warning for coming outside of it.
Or Callie coming with a landing like a pro.
That last takeoff for Wild Thing, he's tied it up with Cedric D, 55 feet there. Even though we got a warning, that takeoff will still count. Norcali coming in with the 64-foot landing. Cedric P on final. 55-foot takeoff seems to be about average for these pilots today. Gonna give up just a little bit over the line. Gonna get it stopped maybe right around that 100-foot marker. He gave up a decent amount there.
Yeah, and I mean, the coming in, it looked nice.
Yeah.
Just a little steadier. On, about 10, 20 feet before that, and I think he would have had a really good landing there because it looked good as far as form at the tail end of it there after that last pull-up.
Got James Beatty here on final. Again, he is in the X Cub. It's just a multiplayer issue there that's showing him in the NX Cub, which is a nose wheel, but he is in the tail wheel X Cub, the Red Bull variant. Coming in a little bit crabbed. I'm not sure if he's slipping or if that wind is adjusting. Again, looks like we're having some more multiplayer issues currently. He disappeared. Where'd he go?
Looks like
okay.
Everybody's lost here.
Yeah. Gonna have a sim issue again.
Probably just a short multiplayer disconnect.
Yeah. Maybe somebody might be connected to that hotel Wi-Fi.
That's true.
Sub B was using. Cue the conspiracy alien music.
It seems good for Sub B, but when everybody connects to the hotel Wi-Fi, it just don't work like that.
No. We're gonna get a handle on this thing. I know it. Looks like we might have some people kind of coming back in. See how they handle this. Okay, so it looks like we do have some updated scores, even though they might not have been visible on the stream. Norcali currently in first with 116 feet. Cedric P in second with 168, and LBR at 353. Looks like we might be back to normal now. This is Wild Thing on final here. We give up just a little bit over the line, a lot of it, 110 foot maybe.
And a little bit of a pilot error on that one. I think it's a misjudgment, but that's fine. There's still two more rounds.
Yeah. I think too, he might have either got hit with the gust there or maybe lost a little bit of wind under the wing, and just was trying to adjust it there. But that's all right. Again, that's round number 1. We still got 2 more to go.
Yeah, that's one of the tough things
Still
about it.
kinda
If you're, if you're judging your landing and you feel like you've got a, 15, 16 knot gust, and then all of a sudden that disappears, that's going to happen time to time. That's why it's so tough to be one of these eSTOL pilots,
Absolutely. I think we're still kind of shuffling around here, maybe getting some pilots back into the pattern to come back in and make their first landing here in round number 1. It can be really frustrating when these servers kind of have a hiccup, and you'll lose everybody, and then they'll slowly come back. It looks like we're getting most everybody back. Round 1, our current scores, again, Norcali 116, Cedric P 168, LBR 353. Definitely some room for improvement there. We're going to track Wild Thing in at a total of 222. That'll put him in 3rd place for our Spec class here. And we do have somebody on final.
From Wild Thing.
Yeah, very consistent. There we go. Getting everybody back. This is going to be, I believe, James Beatty on final here in our Spec class. First landing of the day for him in the Spec class, round number 1. Nice, stable final. Slowing that thing down. Looks like that wind might have adjusted a little bit for a little bit of a crosswind. You can kind of see him crabbed in and getting blown off to the right side of the runway. Got to make some adjustments here. There you go. Nice and slow. This is going to be an impressive landing. Oh, let's see. Gave up just a little bit over the line. Not bad, though. He's in. Definitely a safe landing. Well over the line. We're going to get James Beatty's scores here in just a minute. Looks like everybody is in. James Beatty put down a 262, which puts him in 4th place. Round number 2 is getting warmed up here out at Moses Lake for our Spec class, the Red Bull X Cub. This will be the last class of the day, last class. We are doing an after party over at my stream, Who Can Do on Twitch. Come on out, fly some bush planes. We're going to have fun for a couple of hours over there after the stream is up. We've got 2 more rounds here at Moses Lake. It's been a great competition. Lots of great performances from these pilots, and excited for the next one, excited for the final of this one. See who takes it. We've got Norcali lined up for round number 2 for our Spec class. Currently in the lead there.
Yeah, I didn't even catch that the last time with the dragons on there. I was wondering what you were talking about, Ken. I was like, Red Dragon. But now I see the Red Dragon.
Callie's up and off. Tail wheel is up. Nice and high. Aggressive takeoff there. Very aggressive. Beautiful, beautiful.
And don't forget, guys, you can pick up any of the national eSTOL sceneries on Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, and I think most, if not all of them, are on Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 as well, and they will transfer. So make sure you check out the eSTOL sceneries. You can get them right in the official store from Anov FS.
Absolutely. I think I got my notification the other day that they made it. I don't know if we caught that. The windsock down there looks like the wind has definitely shifted. We have a heavy crosswind now, and you can definitely see it. You can see here that pilot is turned into the wind, trying to get a little bit of advantage, get a little bit of a headwind. Looks like it's going to work for him there as well. They have got to adjust themselves for these winds. You can see it right there, a heavy crosswind they're fighting. Cali may have gotten pretty lucky there with that first round. I don't know if it was pushing like that on that crosswind for his first round. But it's going to be tough to beat that now with these winds.
I like the crosswinds and what it can add to the competition. I think it adds a level of difficulty to the competition. And it can help separate some of the...
You're definitely going to see some of those veteran pilots succeed more here because they've dealt with this situation a lot more than maybe some of our newer guys. So these pilots who have flown multiple seasons in eSTOL and kind of know how to adjust for these winds, they're probably going to do just a little bit better because you got to get used to a crosswind landing. It's not cookie cutter like a good headwind can be. So it's interesting to watch some of our newer guys and how they're handling this crosswind.
Yeah. And you'll see it even affects them on takeoff as well. The way that they line up. You can see they line up a little cockeyed to the line there with one tire in front of the other.
Some handsome gentlemen down there in that National STOL trailer.
That is, I think that's one of them's me.
Yeah,
I'm blushing.
I think so.
I think it's me, and I'm not sure. I think it maybe is Ryan.
I think it's me, brother. Oh, is it Ryan? Dang. Some handsome
Well, we do have you in
regardless.
here, though. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm probably at the beer stand. Here we go, James Beatty.
Could be.
Yeah, I'm probably over there trying to catch a cold one. Down short final here. Looks like it's going to be James Beatty potentially. Nice, adjusting that power. Oh my goodness, I think that was a scratch.
Yeah, if that wasn't close, I don't know.
Oh,
he
wow.
might have held it up
He
in that
might
second
have.
view there.
Let's see if they take it to review, if they're just going to call it a good.
I mean, I'm gonna leave that one to the professionals, and we'll let them sort it out. But we'll have you an answer here in just a second.
I believe that was Cedric P, and it looks like they are going to call that one a scratch by 4 feet there. That would have been a really impressive landing. 57 foot if he wouldn't have scratched that. So here is James. That was Cedric. This is James Beatty on final here. Uh-oh. He might be taking out a flag. I don't know.
Man. We'd have to see what the landing rate was on that one.
Yeah, those crosswinds were really beating them up. They're going to give him a warning on that one. That crosswind is tearing them up out there. Looks like our multiplayer has kind of gotten stable, knock on wood, which is good to see. Short final here. Cali still holding on to that lead at 160. That was,
who was that last landing?
I believe it was James Beatty. I think this is more Cali here.
Yeah, I think we just are a bit behind on the...
Yeah. It's all good. Long landing there. Almost at the halfway marker. Yeah, they're going to call him... see what they call that landing.
I was trying to look for the landing rate for James Beatty, but I don't think he's running the tool, so I'm not able to see that.
Yeah, that was LBR Gaming there with that little bit of a long landing. Yeah, landing 286 feet, total of 403. A little bit longer than his round 1 performance. Here comes Wild Thing on short final. He had a 99-foot takeoff, a little longer than he had in round 1. Let's see if he can get this thing planted again. These pilots are battling this crosswind right now. Ooh, Wild Thing coming in. That was pretty nice. He can get it stopped. Maybe 190 feet there from Wild Thing. He's wind tearing him up. Let's see what they call it. Every time I read Wild Thing, I just think of that song. Wild.
I know. I'm singing it in my head every time too, Kendo. I want to know
it's a good
for sure.
We got Wild Thing marked there at 192 feet. He gave up 30 feet there on his landing. I'm sure he was not looking to do that. 30 feet is a decent amount. I mean, in the unlimited class, we had guys taking off at 30 feet, landing sub 20s. Gave up a little bit there, but he's at 192 there. Norcalia is still holding on to the lead at the Mosick Lake eSTOL in our Spec class here. We've got Norcali, Cedric, James Beatty, Wild Thing, and LBR Gaming. That was our current lineup. Here comes Norcali. Ordered into the wind. Beautiful takeoff there. Coming into round 3 here. Norcali starting us off with a, looks like a 64-foot takeoff.
Side tail there at the end.
Yeah, that crosswind is something brutal. I'm sure some of these guys are happy, though, that wind did not adjust on their normal class. I mean, if you're going to have the winds kind of mess you up, Spec class is definitely the one that you would probably prefer it happen on. Really nice
it's a little easier.
Dang.
A little easier to take beating in the Spec class than it is in your regular class. You know, there's a lot of pride that goes into the regular class. Spec class is just kind of, I think, you know, they do get points for it, but I think it's still just, you know, fun for those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. LBR Gaming lining up here. He had a 117-foot takeoff for his second round. He's doing great distance in his takeoff. His landings are just a little bit long for him. Let's see what he can do here in round 3. Oh my goodness, that wind. I mean, it is brutal out there. I know at the after party, we're not flying in live weather, man. I'll tell you that right now. Nothing ruins
doing
an
those
after
clear
party
skies.
like 16-knot winds, man. Nothing will ruin an after party like bad weather.
Bad weather or warm beer, one of the two.
Yeah, imagine having both. Gosh. Struggling to get up there. Wild Thing. Creeping her off the ground, dragging that right tire.
Now, I want to try to get out to the after party and fly with you guys, but I got a wedding tonight. Of course, all summer long.
no.
You know, people get married, and They think, well, let's have a wedding in the middle of the summer, and I think people should be, I think it should be a law that you should have to have a wedding in the winter, because in the summer, I mean, we're all trying to do stuff, have a good time, but gotta go to a wedding.
That's right. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was short. Oh, was that?
Lordy, I think that's hard to tell, man.
Oh, they called it a scratch. The good thing for NorCali right there is he is holding on to a really, really strong lead of 116 feet. He's probably shaking his head right now and kind of laughing, but he does have a decent lead. 116. That's something to be proud of with these wins.
Yeah, no one's touching him right now on that lead. Cedric's 52 feet below that, so I think NorCali, I'm sure he's not chilling. He knows he can still lose, but that's why you see the scratch. He's still trying his ass off out there to get the best score, and trying to beat his own score, which we said earlier. That's what you got to do to get better every time.
Cedric, I think that's going to be a scratch for Cedric. Yeah. Cedric currently in second place, too. That one could have bumped him over to take the win. Cedric's kicking himself. I know that for sure. James Beatty on final. Man, he wanted that one. This is honestly,
I'll tell you,
anybody's ball game.
When you see a scratch like that.
Yeah. If he performs here, he's going to shuffle this leaderboard around. Get that airplane stopped. Sub 100 foot there from Cedric. Or James Beatty, my bad. James Beatty. And that did just what I thought it would. Shuffled the leaderboard. You're not going to believe this, fans of eSTOL. James Beatty right there put down a landing to beat Cedric by 1 foot. 167 for James Beatty. Cedric P with 168. Oh my goodness. Now, that is just brutal. Again, anything can happen. That 1 foot made the difference right there. And James took home. Well, he didn't take home anything yet, but he's in a much better place after round 3 than he was in round 2.
I don't know what's worse, losing by a foot or scratching.
Oh, wow, that's going to be a wild ride for LBR.
I wonder if his seat slid back because, man, he really pulled up right there.
He might have hit the NOS.
Dang, all right.
We've been talking about leader points so much. I think he was just ready to go for a little ride. NorCali currently in the lead, 116. James Beatty in second, 167. Cedric P at 168. Wild Thing, 222. LBR Gaming, 298. Here comes Wild Thing. Current best is 222. He had a little bit of a long takeoff here. If he wants to best it, he's going to have to put down a crazy short landing. He knows what he's got to do here.
I mean, I feel bad for the rest of the pack. NorCali's score is just so damn good.
I swear, I think NorCali got really, really lucky with the wins that first round. And there is Wild Thing with his final landing of the Spec class. Yeah, that crosswind is still out there howling. I would be super interested to peek into NorCali's post-competition stream to see exactly what the wins were for his first round out here in the Spec class. And I think that's going to do it for us, folks, out here at Moses Lake eSTOL, finishing with the Red Bull X Cup Spec class. Let's see what this leaderboard is looking like. Beautiful performance there. NorCali with 116, James Beatty in second with 167, Cedric P at 168, Wild Thing at 222, LBR Gaming at 298. How about it there, Burstix? Solid round. That wind kicked their butt, huh?
Yeah, I mean, that crosswind came out of nowhere, but definitely added a little bit of fun to the competition for that last class. And so congrats to NorCali and the rest of the pilots that all did well, but they couldn't quite beat NorCali at that 116. And we just want to say, everybody, thank you for coming in and watching with us. Kando, it's been a pleasure, as always, to cast with you, and I look forward to casting with you in the future. And we do want to say thank you to everybody for anybody who donated to the National STOL cause. Again, our trailer is no longer with us. Fortunately, everybody that was involved, well, only Cam actually was involved in the accident, but the trailer and the truck rolled 4 times. Cam managed to get out relatively unscathed, and he's just healing and resting a little bit. But Kando, those links are still up there, that Venmo and GoFundMe, if you guys want to donate to that. National STOL, the real life variant, the trailer did start on fire and it is completely lost. And while I'm sure they have a little bit of insurance, chances are it's not going to cover the entire thing. So we would appreciate any donations, no donation too small, to get National STOL back up and rolling. But the cool thing is me and Kando will be able to do some more of these events, and hopefully we'll be able to help everybody get their STOL fixed while the real STOL is fixing itself.
Absolutely. Yeah. Big thank you to everyone who donated and everyone who competed today. Again, this is a massive community. You know, all the pilots here are super friendly, whether it be an eSTOL competitor or a real life STOL competitor. It really is a big family, and you know, family always sticks up for each other and watches out for each other. So again, thank you guys for everyone who donated and everyone who puts in all the hard work for eSTOL. ADK, the man behind the scenes. I mean, I can't imagine how many things he's juggling. Anov, who does all the scenery work, everyone who helps get these STOL pilots certified to come out and compete, obviously, Burstix and Cam. Thank you guys for having me on. But there is a lot of work that goes into these broadcasts for you guys to enjoy. So big shout out to the entire STOL community and everyone who makes it happen, man. It's been awesome.
Yeah, and you know, the camera guys behind the scenes too. We have our drone pilots. Red Heron does a lot for the community, for the eSTOL community. You know, that's the guy who flies around the helicopter at the beginning of the competition. So super big shout out to those guys. Everybody does a lot to put this on, and we thank guys. And hopefully we can sustain the STOL world. It's what a world we live in, Kando, where, like, you know, the eSTOL might be sustaining the STOL world for a little while until we can get National STOL back up and running. But hopefully we'll see some of the real life pilots. We welcome everybody in. It's a lot of fun. It's just a simulator, but you got to do something while you wait, right? So come on in and enjoy the show, guys. We'll see you in a couple weeks for the next eSTOL competition. Kando, it's been a pleasure.
Absolutely,
chat.
brother.
We'll
Thank you guys for having me. See you at the after party, gentlemen.
Yep, Kando. We'll see ya.